bipartisan task force gets ready to investigate the attempt on former President Trump's life earlier this month. The Secret Service says security changes will be made. The new acting director of the Secret Service faced a grilling in the Senate yesterday, and some important questions remain over how the shooter was able to be so close. Joining me now, Congressman Pat Fallon of Texas. He's one of the 13 members of the bipartisan task force investigating the assassination attempt. Good morning to you, Congressman. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Brooke. Good morning.
So what are the task force's goals in this new investigation? Who are you calling on to testify?
Well, Brooke, the goal, as far as the goals go, we need to find the why and the how this happened so we can get to the never. In other words, we never want to see this happen again to any Secret Service protectee. We just can't have that. We can't afford it. The country's already politically divided. We need our leaders to be safe. And so we'll obviously be talking to the Secret Service. We'll be talking to local law enforcement agencies that were on the ground in Butler, Pennsylvania. We'll be talking to the FBI as well. But we really need to focus on the culture and the changes that need to be made within the Secret Service to ensure the safety of all their protectees today and going forward.
If you can sort of be specific here, what's the first question that you and your co-members will focus on?
Yeah, because we need to go granular as far as Butler, Pennsylvania goes, and then we need to go more general as far as culture and Secret Service. So the specific questions that I want to have answered is, how in the world could that building, the AGR building, have been left unguarded? What were the specific communications between the locals? Because that was apparently delegated, that building was delegated to the locals by the Secret Service, because there's some contention as to who was briefed and were they briefed at all, and it was just the local leader and et cetera. And then communications as well. This shooter was spotted 30 seconds before he actually pulled the trigger, and yet the Secret Service didn't know because there was a lag, because the communications, they weren't all on the same network. And that needs to change as well. So why wasn't the water tower covered? And then what about counter drone technology? This person should have never gotten on that roof. And we need to find out where those breakdowns were.
There has been so much talk and finger pointing about accountability. What does accountability look like for you and for your task force?
Number one, the accountability is the Secret Service is in charge of protecting, in this case, protecting President Trump. So there were major failures here. And for one, this kid was spotted with a rangefinder hours before. And think about this, Brooke. The Secret Service got outsmarted and outmaneuvered by a 20-year-old who had a week's notice and wasn't even trained in any of this. God forbid if there had been a nefarious nation state intent on assassination, which there was a threat with, a credible threat vis-a-vis Iran. So these are breakdowns that need to be looked at, examined, and then you can fix them. You have to find the failures first before you can fix anything.
These task forces, are great. I appreciate the investigation and the questioning that you and your team are going to do. But we have candidates that are on the campaign trail right now, right? What about the immediacy of getting things done now, answering these questions right now?
Oh, there's no doubt. What I would recommend highly with the Secret Service is they have 8,000 employees and over $3 billion budget. Is every presidential candidate, that major candidates, and there's three, they need counter assault teams on site. They need counter surveillance teams on site. If there had been a full counter surveillance team on site in Butler, Pennsylvania, I believe that rifle that the shooter pre-positioned would have been picked up. And there's no way he would have made it on that building. And they have to do better advance work. They have to do better communications with local law enforcement. And they all need to get on the same comms network during the events. So these are things that can be done right away with immediacy to protect folks moving forward.
When will we hear some tangible results from your group?
We're starting immediately. Chairman Mike Kelly was in his district. He's a great guy, very dear friend, and really a national treasure. So he's going to be leading the task force, and we're going to issue a final report in December. But we're all going to be doing a lot of reaching out to the media to ensure that the American people need to be informed. We need to have transparency. And the reason why we're going to conduct this independent commission is there's, how federal agencies are. They tend to cover their backsides, if you will, when something like this happens. We need to blow the lid off this to understand what happened specifically in Butler, what changes need to be made, as I said before, culturally within the Secret Service, so we can have them be the preeminent protection agency in the world.
Congressman Pat Fallon, part of the bipartisan task force now investigating that assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump. Thank you for joining us, for answering our questions this morning. Thanks so much.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. Also, don't forget to click that red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.